Hi guys, what I have here is my 1980 Gibson 335S solid body. This is from 1980. They only made him for a couple of years. Really nice axe, but this one's a player, as you can see. It's had a Kaler or something in there. The hole's been plugged. Got a couple extra holes here for switches, I guess. And this hole here is where somebody had moved the toggle to there. This is where it's supposed to be. That's where they put it in the factory, but somebody had moved it there and then moved it back again. So I'm going to move it back here. I just took the plug out. There was a plug in that hole. So I just took the plug out and I'm going to move this to there. So it'll be more like an SG. The SG has the toggle switch over here. And it's a bit more intuitive with your hand. You're not reaching around, fumbling. I find a fumble for this a lot. I'll grab the knob instead of the switch. So that's going to be moved there. This has also had the jack moved to the front. It used to be in here. There's a hole there. But I moved it to the front just because I don't like the jack sticking out the edge of the guitar because it gets caught on stuff and whatnot. So right there's a better spot. So yeah, so I'm going to move this over here. Stand by. Okay, what I need to do first is to take out the switch. So I've already disconnected the jack. I took the screw off the back of the jack so I can take that out. Already took the nut off of the switch. So I need to disconnect it from the pots. That'll be here and here. Once I've done that, I can lift the whole assembly out and then reposition it. So we get out Mr. Soldering Iron and we just try to scrape some of the crap off the tip. I like to do them out over the guitar, but I like to do that to just a little slag and shit on there that just causes problems. And also a solder too. I've got another batch on the way. I don't need that just now. Could use those 7/8 host pliers. Here we go. So I will start with putting some light on the subject right here on this one. Okay, there's that. And I will come over to this one. There we go. Come on, you bastard. There we are. Trying not to put any heat on the capacitors or anything else. Don't want to cause yourself any more grief than you absolutely have to. So, now we simply lift out the whole rig. So, now what's going to happen is this reach? Yeah, baby. Okay, so I don't have to bother changing the wire on the jack. I know that'll fit. So, now, what I need to do is move the thing over. The jack is all good. Get this piece of wire somewhere where I can get at it. And red is bridge, the black is neck. Important to remember that, otherwise I have the switch going the wrong way. And I have a little washer here. Little locking type washer. Okay, so that will go in here. But I have a problem. I have a problem with this. So what I'm going to do is get that problem out of the way, because I can reposition this. Yeah. I can reposition this wire after I've got the thing in place. Fish this through. Again, we'll be really careful not to damage anything else. We don't want to be pulling those little capacitor wires off or anything like that. It would suck. Nothing worse than trying to make an improvement just to fuck everything up with it. There. Okay, I'm going to take this pickup wire right off of there. Get that right out of the way. Okay. Makes things easier. Get as much out of the way as you can, but only take apart as much as you have to. There. Okay. So now, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing here. These tabs are spread out too far. They're liable to touch the pot. So I'm going to straighten those out a little bit. Just bend them back more straight. And I'll get myself a pair of cutters because there's a little bit too much wire hanging off here. See? And I have this and this sticking out, and they can touch if I move that up a bit. So I'm going to try and remove as much of that as I can. I'll do this one too. Okay. So now I will move this tab in just a bit more. As well. I got some copper wire. I don't like that. It's too close. See, that can cause no end of problems. Oh, I know what. I know what. Just try to squeeze them. And this one too. There. Okay, that's better. Sorry about the shaky hands. I have a bit of a medical condition that I can't do anything about, so when I try to do things that require some fine motor skills like this, it can be awkward, but this is what I like to do, so damn it, I'm going to keep doing it. So anyway, that's that. So let's put this back in and see what we have to work with. That's a lot better. Okay, so now I will push this down a bit. Try to route this wire to the jack as tidy as I can. I don't like this. That is touching here, which doesn't matter. It's a ground anyway. But I'm going to try to avoid that by doing this. There. Okay. That is that. So, next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put the nut on the thing to hold it still, and same with the jack, and then it won't wiggle around when I'm trying to do everything else. Alright, hang on a second. Okay, I've done that, reinstalled the jack. I'm leaving this loose for a few minutes because also when I had it off, I removed the wires that were on it because they're just way too long for what I needed. So I'll put those away for another day, and I'll put on a couple of shorter wires. So I'm going to route those as neatly as possible. Like that. I like to keep things tidy in there when I can. Just more professional, and it doesn't leave you open for problems later on. If everything's neat and tidy, it's more likely to be working order when you're finished. There. Okay. That's that one. Now I gotta do this one. Hang on. That's bad news right there. It's a cold solder joint. What is the matter with me? There we go. That's better. So I'm just trying to work this wire. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to remove that. and then flip it around the other way. It'll be easier. It will be easier. I'm going to put it in this lug here and then in there. So I'll just bend the wire, pre-bend it. Sometimes with this solid core wire, if you bend it too much, the wire likes to break, and that's kind of a pain. So I'm going to pre-bend this one just because it's got to be in such a tight little loop. This way makes it a bit easier. This kind of thing I've learned from experience. Oops, sorry about that. Got this kind of precarious thing for my phone. I'm trying to get some light on the picture too. There we are. Okay, so that's in. So what I'm going to do, try and get this one in there as well. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you can see this with my mitts in the way, but I'll show you afterwards what I've done. Okay. There we go. Now, what I did, I just soldered that bit there, holding onto the wire. So that's soldered onto the lug on the switch, and then I fished this one through. I just got to put a dab of solder on that. Then we'll put this back on. I might have to put, I'm going to have to put a bit of insulation on there, but that's okay. And then I'll put the socket back in, or the jack back in, and we're good. So, I had, here it is, little one of these. This is a alligator clip. Alligator clip. I'm just going to use this to put on here. And what it is, it's metal. And I'll use it as a heat sink. So I don't want the heat from there, from this wire, going around and undoing that solder. So this will suck up some of that heat. Just a little precaution. There we go. Okay, so that's that. Now, I have this to deal with. Okay, so that will go in there. This will go on right where it was, but now I've got that, which I do not like. So I can put an arch in it, but I'll have to move it over a bit, but I need to put something on there. So we bring in a bit of shrink tubing. So I'm going to measure out what I need, just by eyeball, about that much. Cut it off. Push it through. There we go. So we see that will protect that. So now what we do is we get our handy dandy blowtorch, cigarette lighter from the dollar store, but these torchy type ones, they go like that. They're great for this sort of thing. So and it's directable too with that flame, so you can't torch your guitar by mistake. You can point it exactly where you want it. Alright, sorry about the abrupt end. My phone died, so it is now the next morning. But you can see what I did here when I finished up. Got the wire, pickup wire, put a piece of insulation on it so that it doesn't touch the switch. I've also moved the joint from where the ground was, from here to here. That gave me a bit more room here, a bit more slack, so I can put an arch on it so it doesn't touch. And then I put the We have the wires, the red wire here, you can kind of make it out, for the pickup, for the bridge. The black wire over here, you can kind of see it there, for the neck pickup. And the jack wire was fine the way it was. It plenty of room, so I didn't have to replace that. And there's where the old hole for the switch was. So the switch was here. Now it's over here. And there you go. That's really all it took. I was lucky there was already a hole drilled here from before, and I used that and simply took the plug that was in this hole and put it in this hole. So there you go. Any questions? Let me know. Thanks for watching.